See though, because I don't know how bright their light at the end of the tunnel is. Let's have a look at the remaining games that they have in their schedule. You could see some big ones. Manchester United coming up on April 18th, then away to Brighton, Leeds United, Nottingham Forest, and then Liverpool, Spurs, Sunderland. A lot of scrappy teams there, Craig. Are Chelsea up for it based on what we saw today? Jules, your thoughts on what you saw from Chelsea today and how much the whole Liam Rosenior, Enzo Fernandez situation is to blame?
I thought that decision was pathetic, to be fair. Yep. I agree completely with what Craig just said. I actually think that Cucurella's interview was far worse than Enzo Fernandez just saying Madrid is a great city and I would love to play for Real Madrid, like every single player on the planet would say.
Unless you were born in Barcelona, every single player says the same thing.
True, Case. That's true. Yeah. But when Rodri says it, Guardiola answers in his press conference by saying, "I completely understand. Yeah. It's absolutely fine. You know, why would it bother you if one of your players said, you know, Real Madrid are a club I dream for? You know, when Leonard Carl, who's 17 at Bayern Munich, says that he would love to play for Bayern Munich one day in a long time, Vincent Kompany doesn't drop him for 2 games. So I thought that was pathetic. And for me, it sums up very well what's happening at Chelsea right now. That project is failing, we know. They're not going to make Champions League football next season, which would be a disaster for them, not just financially, but for that project in itself. And by the way, if we don't even look at the project or where they might be in a year, 2, 3, what are they even trying to do on the football pitch at the moment? Because today, and I know I was with Case on first half, tried to negate. So what, now you start playing football, not to lose. Because today they set up not to lose. Against PSG in Paris, they set up not to lose. Against Arsenal in the League Cup semi-final at the Emirates, they set up not to lose. This is not Chelsea Football Club. This is not how this team should play. This is certainly not what this manager should be doing. And I love Liam Rosenior, as you know. We know the family. We know Leroy's dad, all of that. I think he's a really good young coach that has a great future ahead of him. But right now, he's making too many mistakes and he's out of his depth.
So, I mean, just quickly, Jules, on this one, I don't want to sort of dwell too much on it. But that ridiculous decision, and I totally agree with you, it's absolutely bonkers. This ridiculous decision to suspend a player, did it come straight from the manager, or do you think it came from up top and he had to swallow it?
So he said that it was a joint decision with the people above him, those million sporting directors that they have. Some people are a bit skeptical about that, which I can understand. What's interesting is when he was at Strasbourg, he suspended Emmanuel Emega, who's the club captain, their best player, that number 9, who's coming to Chelsea, by the way, this summer. Because Emega said a few things in his mixed zone interviews, basically saying, I'm the best player in this team. Look at when I'm not playing, they lose to teams like, you know, average teams. But when I'm there, we beat PSG, we beat Marseille. And Liam didn't like that. So he suspended him. He suspended his best player, basically. So that part is making me think maybe that's actually his decision to go with that on Enzo because he didn't like a couple of things. And if that's the case, I don't know what's worse, if it's his decision or the board and he just had to follow because in that job at Chelsea you have to be a yes man, you know, and we saw that with Maresca.